Hello, David Clarke here from DVC Training with another quick Resolve tutorial. This one's pretty simple. It's basically how to change the Resolve keyboard shortcuts, specifically how to change the fact that when you press the delete key, it does this. In Resolve, the delete key basically does a ripple delete all the time, which can be quite frustrating if you come from another program. Actually, all you've got to remember to do if you keep to the Resolve default keyboard shortcuts is don't use the delete key, use the backspace key. So if I press delete, you can see I've selected the clip at the top here. If I was to press delete, it deletes the clip at the top, but then chops out everything else underneath it and moves it across, which is a ripple delete. It's getting rid of stuff and moving things around, which is not what delete does in other programs. If you select it and press the backspace key, then it doesn't get rid of stuff. That does what delete does in other programs. So it's not exactly a major hassle. So actually, first thing you could do, just don't press delete, press backspace. But if you can't get used to that, you can change the keyboard shortcuts. Like every program, you can actually change keyboard shortcuts to anything that you feel like. So I'm going to come up to the words DaVinci Resolve up here in the top left and go to Keyboard Customization. And here you can see something which lets you adjust the keyboard. Your biggest problem might be finding stuff in here. I want to change the delete key so it doesn't do what it does anymore, or where on earth is it in all this lot? Simplest thing, come up to this keyboard layout up here and select the delete key. And then it says over here what it does, which is ripple delete. So if I double click on that, it brings up the keyboard shortcut over here, which says, yes, shift and backspace does it, and delete does it. I don't want this delete to do it anymore. So what I've got to do is select that and then press the little X key on it. You might notice here that I can't quite get to it. This is because I've upped the sizes of my fonts on the screen for this screen capture. Hopefully you won't have this problem, but I've got to get to that little X you can hardly see there. Now, delete key does not do ripple delete. Now I'm going to get out of that. First thing it's going to say was you've changed stuff, so give it a name. So, okay. I shall call it something. Now that I've called it something, you might notice up here it says DVC1 up here, because here is where I can choose a whole bunch of different presets. So for example, if you're coming from Premiere, you could choose that and it makes the keyboard shortcuts pretty like Premiere. Obviously it's gone to my DVC1 presets. Now if I come out of that, you'll notice here, if I go and press the delete key now, it doesn't actually do anything at all now. It doesn't ripple delete, it doesn't do anything. Backspace deletes, and if you remember the other keyboard shortcut that was written on screen, shift and backspace does a ripple delete, but delete now does nothing. What I want to do is make sure delete actually deletes stuff. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to search for the word delete. So I've typed in the bit of the word delete up there and it comes up with all the keyboard shortcuts that have got the word delete. And looking down here, you can see under the edit timeline. So these things are the different pages of Resolve, the cut timeline, edit timeline, and so on. I'm going to go to the edit timeline, which is the edit page, which is what I use the most. And I'm going to come to delete selected, which is currently set to backspace. Click on the little X, get rid of it, and then select it and press on the delete key. So you make sure the little empty hold is selected, and I've pressed the delete key on my keyboard. And now that has set that to delete clips. So save it, come out of it, select it, delete. Now delete will delete stuff. If I want to do a ripple delete, I've actually got to do shift and backspace. So maybe you want to set that to be something else. So again, come up here, go delete. So search for the edit timeline, ripple delete there. What would I like ripple delete to be? Well, if I'm coming from Premiere, it would be the hash key. So let's click on the little X to get rid of it. And then press the hash key. Select it, hash. Oh, it now ripple deletes. Lovely jubbly. Let's go back to this again. And if I wanted to set it to say what you do in Edius, that's Alt and D. Rather than clicking up here, I've got to do this on my actual keyboard. So make sure that's in orange. Hold down on the Alt key, hold down on D, and now Alt and D does ripple delete on the edit timeline. So come out of here, Alt D. So it's pretty simple, it's just a matter of finding it and changing it. What about if I go to the cut timeline? So in the cut timeline, I want to actually delete this thing. Does delete get rid of it there? Not at all. In the cut timeline, I still have to press the backspace key to get rid of it. And that's because if you come up to the keyboard customization, I changed it on the edit timeline to Alt and D. I didn't change it on the cut timeline. It's still set to backspace. These presets up here, obviously you can just pop between them. I can choose any of these pre-made ones, or I can make my own. And if I've got some that I particularly like and I want to take it from here onto another computer, you just come up to the three dots and you say export preset. Choose the preset that you want to export it, give it a name. On the machine that you want, you just click up here, import preset, find it, bring it in. Pretty simple, really. And I have to say, if I'm coming for another program, probably would go straight for getting rid of ripple delete being the delete key, just because I'm not used to it in other programs, and the number of times when I first started, the number of times I would accidentally ripple delete stuff drove me around the bend, so I got used to changing it. And that's how you do it. Anyway, hope you found that useful. I'll be doing a few more little tutorials about Resolve over the next coming weeks, so don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more updates, and of course go to my website www.dvctraining.co.uk for more information on the stuff that I do. If you'd like to see my introduction to DaVinci tutorial, click on the link above. Apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time.